And thank you for tuning in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, for all of our new listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time. I'm Pastor Pope, and thank you for allowing us to come into your viewing environment. We are here with you every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time to address whatever topics you might like to discuss, whatever issues of life you find challenging or that you find difficult to navigate. We are here because God is concerned about that which concerns you. So now we are currently live on Facebook and on YouTube Live, so you can call or text every day on the T-Mobile caller text line at 267-992-1424. As I indicated to all of our listeners and viewers, I'm Pastor Pope, Senior Pastor of New Life Christian Center, located at 400 Hillcrest Avenue at the corner of Hillcrest and Marsh Road in Wilmington, Delaware. There's parking on Hillcrest. We are the brown brick building located right on the corner of Hillcrest and Marsh Road. And we have reopened our sanctuary with protocol, so we invite you to come and worship with us. Service begins at 10 a.m. Come and experience a better quality of life. And if you're not in our area, you can join us on Sundays at live, as we live stream at 10:45 a.m. And we invite you to be with us, and we invite you as always to come and experience a better quality of life. So we are here in 3D today, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast brought to you by Fiji Water. You may already know that Fiji Water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature? It is untouched by man. It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock. The water collects in a natural artesian aquifer where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew the cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. This is Earth's finest water. And so, as you know, we are now Facebook Live, we are YouTube Live, so you can communicate with us on live chat. You can call or text every day on the T-Mobile caller text line to discuss whatever topics you might like to discuss. You can discuss careers, you can discuss finance, you can discuss entrepreneurship, you can discuss marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families. You can discuss dating and relationships. Again, whatever's on your heart, whatever's in your mind, God is concerned about that which concerns you. So we are here every day from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, scheduling permitted, right here in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. So I'm going to address a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that right now you've got a lot of family drama going on. So you are really saying that you have a significant amount of drama within your family, and you want to know, so you said that it's overwhelming you. So you want to know, how do you deal with the drama internally within your family? People that you have to see every single day. So you said in your communication also, this isn't like dealing with people at the office because you can pick and choose how you deal with them. You also said that, right now you're working from home. So all of those are positive things. Here's what you've got to know. It's no different when you're dealing with family. We only perceive it to be different because we have a love for our families. Now, families can be a little challenging, families can be a little different, they can be a little difficult, but the reality is that you're just trying to navigate how you deal with your family. So I get it, I understand, and what I want to say to you is that what you're going to have to do is just take yourself out of the equation. Don't put yourself in the midst of mess. So let me say this, and I want to make sure that I address this. And of course, I'm trying to navigate all of the components of us being live. But here's the reality. You have to recognize that God is not the author of confusion. So whatever drama is going on within your family right now, whatever challenges you're dealing with, it is because people are part of the equation. God is never in the midst of mess. God is not the author of confusion, but of peace. So we have to recognize that if God is not in the midst of it, why would I want to be in the middle of it? So we have to remove ourselves from the equation. You don't need to participate in the drama that family members are involved in. That's not required of us. You only have to be accountable to God for the things that God has assigned you to control. You don't have to be responsible for cleaning up everybody else's mess. You don't have to be responsible for sorting out their confusion. You're not equipped to handle that emotionally. That is going to disrupt your psyche. Now, there are people who are equipped to handle family drama. They are equipped to tell them, you have to resolve your own issues. I'm going to give you some suggestions, some recommendations, but you have to come to a place where you decide to resolve your own issues. There are people who are equipped to say that. You find it difficult to tell your family that you're not going to be involved in the drama, and that's the reason that it's overwhelming you. You get caught up in the midst of their mess every time the mess is stirred up. Well, the truth of the matter is, all you have to do is separate yourself from the drama and remove yourself from the equation. You're not part of that equation. So let me give you another analogy. Sometimes we put ourselves in the equation. You have one person who is trying to accomplish their own way, plus another person who wants to accomplish their own way, plus someone else who feels like they should be involved in the midst of the mess. That's three. So 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 3. 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 3. So you have to say to yourself, if I add myself to that equation, I should add plus 0. It's still 3 people trying to resolve their issues, and you don't have to be a part of that. The problem is that you allow them to place you into the equation, and they go from 1 plus 1 plus 1, and then they want to multiply by placing you in the equation. You've got to stop the madness. You've got to stop allowing people to. Now, and let me share with you what God showed me in that secret place. It's not even that you're placing yourself in the equation. It is that you're allowing other people to place you in the equation. You're allowing other people to make you part of the equation, and because you're not involved in the drama, they're not getting the right calculation. So let me do this for all of our listeners and viewers. God will never bless a mess. God will sustain you through the mess. However, you're not responsible for the mess. So remove yourself from the equation. And then be mindful of this. If you have no peace, you cannot be part of that equation, because God is a God of peace. He's not the author of confusion. He's the author of peace. So if you have no peace, you have no participation. You have no part in that mess. And you're right, God allowed me to see in that secret place of your life. There is a lot of mess going on in your family right now. There is a lot of drama. And why would you want to be a part of the drama? You can still be part of the family without being part of the drama. We don't get to pick and choose our family. So no matter what, you're still part of the family, but you don't have to participate in the drama that is causing you anxiety. It is disrupting your psyche. It is starting to have an impact on the quality of your life because everyone is constantly bickering. There's so much contention in your family and for no reason. Listen, this isn't about anyone in your family dying. This is not about people in your family grieving. It's not about any of that. It is about contention. It is about sibling rivalry. It is about those who feel that they need to be on display all the time. There's a lot of contention and a lot of unnecessary dissension among your family. You don't need to be a part of that. And anyone, for all of our listeners and viewers, any one of us that feels that we're being grafted into the mess of our families, you were only grafted into the family of God. You're related to them by blood, by birth. But you cannot relate to the way they choose to live their lives because that's not the way you choose to live. So sometimes we just have to separate ourselves from those who are causing disruption in our psyche and having an impact on the quality of our lives. Listen, stay in the house. Listen, I'm using that as an analogy to say you just don't need to be bothered by people who cannot live in peace, who've got their own issues, their own agendas, their own motives for why they do what they do. Let them do it if that's the way they choose to live and not enjoy a quality of life. What you have to focus on is maintaining your quality of life, maintaining your peace, living in your peace. And that's what all of us should be living to accomplish right now. We should all be living to accomplish that place of peace that is going to enhance the quality of our lives, give us rest in the Lord, and know that God is in control. We're all assigned certain responsibilities to control. We're assigned those by God. If you're not assigned that responsibility, don't take on that responsibility. There are other responsibilities more productive responsibilities that you can take on to experience the fullness of God in your life, in all of our lives, and maximize the fullness of God in all of our lives. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest nationwide 5G provider at no extra charge. If you are not currently a T-Mobile customer, you can call or text the T-Mobile call or text line. We will move you over into our queue where you can become a T-Mobile customer and experience T-Mobile, America's largest nationwide 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are included in your bill, and if you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you will experience T-Mobile, America's largest nationwide 5G provider at no extra charge. So I also want to say to all of our listeners and viewers, go on T-Mobile.com. You will find what T-Mobile is doing to offer for students access to the internet. Go on T-Mobile.com, take a look, and if it applies to you, then you'll have the opportunity to take advantage of the offer. If it does not apply to you, it may apply to someone you know, or you can pass on the information so that others can take advantage of the opportunity that T-Mobile is providing, so that all students could have access to internet and a hotspot at T-Mobile, America's largest nationwide 5G provider at no extra charge. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you have a friend who really wants to continue living the way that you've always lived in the past. You said that you were single girls, single women, having fun. However, now you're both married with children, and she wants to continue living the way that you lived in the past. So here's part of the problem. Part of the problem is she's still living in the past, even though she presently is married and has children. She wants to live in the past because in her mind, she's still dwelling in the past. She's still looking back at the past and saying, this is what we did to have a good time when we were single. The problem is she's still stuck there, even though she's married with children, and you have begun to live in the present. You're married, you have children, you are focused on your family, your home life. That's your focus. Live the way you want to live. Live your own way. Don't focus on, your concern is that you're going to lose the friendship. And the truth of the matter is that you've outgrown the friendship. You're just afraid that you're going to leave her behind. There are some friends that are in our lives for a season. There are some friends who are in our lives for a reason. There are some friends who are in our lives for a season. And then there are friends that you will have for a lifetime. You have to recognize that everyone is not going to grow at the same pace that you have grown. They're not going to grow at the same level of success that you achieve. When you start doing things differently, you're going to observe people in your life dropping off. Not because you desire for them to drop off, but because they want to continue living the way that they've always lived. They're comfortable living the way that they've always lived. They're not comfortable with being stretched and growing. They would rather be small all their lives. Now, you indicated that your friend is married, she has children. You're married and you have children. You wanted you both to grow together and raise your children together. You're looking at life from the perspective that you want to accomplish. So that looks like you go to the office every day, you come home to your husband, you come home to your children, you make certain that you prepare meals for your family, that you take care of your household. She comes home from the office and she wants to leave her husband with the kids, with the children, and she wants to go out at least one day during the week and on the weekends. Well, you're not living the same life. You have two different lives. Now, your husband has no problem with you going out with your girlfriend, once periodically, let me say that. He has no problem with you going out with your girlfriend to celebrate special occasions and to do, and I'll probably get some emails from some of my listeners and viewers, and I'm okay with that because I love hearing from you at newlifepastor@comcast.net. I love hearing from you when you respond to the communications, when you respond to what I have communicated But I'm only speaking what God has spoken. So it's about the quality of life. Jesus said, I came that you might have life and that you might have it more abundantly. That's talking about the quality of life. You've done all of the things that God has ordained decently in order. And some people will disagree that she should be able to go and do whatever she wants to do as long as the children are taken care of and an adult is home with the children. And in this case, her husband. But the truth of the matter is, and as long as she can do that, and that's the way they choose to live, that's fine. But eventually that's going to disrupt the quality of their life. Your husband has no problems with you going out to celebrate or for special occasions. He has no problem with that because he understands that you're focused on your family. You're focused on your home life. And your home life is flourishing while her home life is suffering. I'm just keeping it real with what God has shown me in that secret place of both your lives. You were hoping that the two husbands and the two wives and all of the children would be able to, over the course of your lifetime, raise your children together, enjoy your lives together. That's not the life she's chosen. You've got to recognize that what's happened to the two of you is that you have grown and she still remains in the past. So her growth has been stunted. Here's another thing. You and your husband and your children, when your church is open, and right now it is not, God has shown me that in that secret place, your church is not open at this time. But when your church is open, you, your husband, and your children are in church every Sunday. That's part of your daily life. That's part of what you do to prepare your children for a greater quality of life. She's not doing that on the weekends. Her husband and her children are not in church on Sundays. And the reason is because they've chosen to live a different life. And that does not lead to a quality of life. You can't just, listen, you're in church every Sunday. They don't even go to church on, the holiday Sundays that some people attend. I'm not judging them. I'm stating the facts. And the facts are, they're not going to experience the same quality of life that you're experiencing. And you've got to be okay with that. It doesn't matter that she's been your friend since you all were single girls, single women, out in the world. You're no longer living that life. And so therefore, it's not that you don't love her. It's not that she's no longer your friend. But you can't fellowship. You can't have a friendship that is going to allow you both to flourish. Allow you both to enjoy life together. She's got to live her own life until she comes into the knowledge of what God has purposed for her and her family. And you have to go on living your own way, because your way is the way of God. I'm not implying that anybody's perfect in this. Your heart is perfect. Your heart is perfected. I wish you lived in our area because we always encourage everyone to walk this journey that you're walking right now, that is going to lead to the fullness of God in all of our lives. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by Charles Terrett, located in London, the UK. They also have stores in New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and at the King of Prussia Mall in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. If you're in any of those areas, stop in at their retail store. They have everything that a man could possibly need. They have shirts for men, ties for men, suits for men, and accessories. If you order from Charles Terrett right now, you can order 4 high-quality cotton shirts for $199. You can order from Charles Terrett at ctshirts.com. If you're not in any of those areas where you can stop in at the retail stores, you can always order from Charles Terrett at ctshirts.com. They will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. And also, The White Company, located in London, the UK. They also have a store on 5th Avenue in New York. If you're in New York, you can stop in at the retail store. They have everything that you could possibly need. They have home goods, clothing for men, women, and children. If you're not in New York, you can order from The White Company at thewhitecompany.com. They too will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you are feeling quite stressed about your relationship. You're concerned about the direction that it's taking, and you want to know, how do you get things back on track? How do you get your relationship back on the track that you were on that makes you feel quite fulfilled? And so I'm going to say this to you. What you're really experiencing, and let me be clear about this. What you're really experiencing right now is what we know to be pandemic stress. Okay, I want you to be clear about that. I want you to know that this is just simply pandemic stress that you're dealing with, and you don't need to make changes in your relationship. You need to change your perspective, your perception, of your relationship. You need to really change how you perceive the relationship. There's nothing that is wrong with your relationship. Your relationship is on course. You are just, and the reason that God showed me this is because He doesn't want you to destroy the relationship because of your perception of the relationship. See, sometimes we have a perception of what we think relationships are supposed to look like. We think that, okay, let me say this. Hollywood, for example, gives us this vision of what relationships are supposed to look like. And we've even been taught by society that relationships should fit in this little box. And then when, for some reason, there's new components added to the relationship, we then think that a Pandora's box has been opened. But the reality is, sometimes, I'm going to give you an analogy of when you buy a pair of shoes, they come in a box. And what we do when we take those shoes home and we open the box and we put the shoes on, and then when we're done wearing them, hopefully, unless they're a pair that you're going to wear on a consistent basis, they go back in the box. Sometimes we might put the wrong pair of shoes in the wrong box. But that doesn't mean they're not protected. It just means that you have a wrong pair of shoes in the wrong box. We just take the lid off and put another pair of shoes in the box. It doesn't mean that everything is coming to an end. It doesn't mean that everything's being destroyed. It just means that we haven't put the right pair of shoes in the box. There's a reason for this analogy. Just stay the course. Don't be distressed. Your relationship is going to be just fine. He loves you and you love him, and God loves you both. So stay on course and continue to love the Lord and love what he's done in your life. Today's Daily Divine Direction broadcast 3D is brought to you by Fiji Water. A taste of paradise will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. May God bless you.